それでは第2部お待たせいたしました。イブ・ダルビエに聞くワールド・オブ・クオリティ AI フィルムということで、講師のイブ・ダルビエさん、よろしくお願いいたします。
はい、ありがとうございます。こんにちは。Thank you very much, Aki-san, for having me today here. So I'm going to speak English today, so I can be more myself and express more interesting things, and hopefully people can see the Japanese translation on the online recording. ここは日本語は出てこないでね。
Yes, I will show the subtitle here.
Okay.
Wait 1 minute, but you can go.
Okay, わかった。Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Yves. I've been living in Japan for 20 years, and today I want to show you a few things that I've done with AI recently, and also tell you about my background. So I'm basically a film director for the last 20 years. I directed 3D animation, commercial, and films. I got several awards with my short films. I was a technical director on Maya, so I'm very used to the 3D animation production and all the difficulties and all the technical challenges that comes with animation industry. My work has been featured in different magazines and newspapers like Stash, Viggle, Forbes. I'm making the Runway community meetup here. I don't know if you heard about Runway, the AI app before. Someone heard about Runway? Runway は知ってますか？使ったことありますか？ Runway. Okay. And I worked with very great agencies based in Germany and USA. Maybe I will show you some work after, but Door Brothers, I worked with Secret Level on other projects, and I'm a creative partner of several AI applications also. These brands are my client as a director. So when I was directing commercial, recently a little bit less because I'm more oriented and focused on AI and animation, but I used to direct different commercial with my friend Nikki, who is there behind the camera, and we got several clients, and it was really fun. Those are the awards I got with 3 different films. So some awards were in France, some were in Japan, especially River in Heaven that was directed with NHK Minna-no-Uta. We got an award in New York Film Festival in 2011, and everyone was very happy. It was very unique. I do a lot of things like art direction for the films. It's very common that I do a lot of positions on the films I direct. I do the art direction, I do the creative research, because I come from the CG animation background, so I'm very used to do everything myself. I worked on set, I worked with influencers on different campaigns, like we did a campaign for Lux Athleisure series, that was a shampoo dedicated for athletes, and we worked with famous influencers in Japan. I do a lot of public speaking, especially recently, where I think it's very important to talk about quality when we talk about AI, because AI is very broad, and now that the entry door is very easy to access for everyone, even people who don't have an artistic background, I think it's very important to educate about what is filmmaking, how to use the tools in a way that is very elegant and powerful, and not only to create mass content. So that's my role. There is a lot of mass content currently in the AI world, and I'm more oriented with unique, powerful content. And on the demand of Aki-san, I will give you a little bit of a background on my early life, like early artistic life, to tell you how it started, like why am I in Japan, what did I do to arrive here and do this. So this is my background. I hope it can inspire some of you who are looking at this presentation. So in 2003, I graduated from the computer graphics school in France called Supinfocom. And back then it was a very famous computer graphics school. There were not so many in France. And you can see the evolution of the ideas for my first short film that was awarded 3 times. When I was in the first year of my school, I drew this. I had an exercise where I had to do something poetic on the left, and I had to make a story on 1 page. And from that story, I got later different ideas of character design and how I could make a movie in 3D animation with the same ideas. And that became the film Reba that you see on the right. So the middle is my early character design, and the one on the right is a computer graphics rendering using Maya, and an outline system that was developed by my friend Patrick Jean initially, and that became the toon line, the toon shader back then, created by Maya afterward. Here are some images of the final film. So this is not AI, this is computer graphics, this is 3D animation. So that was 1 year after the creation of this film. The film got screened in several film festivals around the world, because there is this culture in Supinfocom where they screen the film and they send all the films. They have a dedicated area where they send all the films to worldwide festivals. And that's very powerful, because that's when your film can be seen worldwide and you can get attention. And that's basically how I got my work in Japan. So you can see it's interesting in the way that doesn't look like computer graphics. That looks like a painting. ちょっと絵の具っぽいですよね。コンピューターグラフィックスっぽくないね。それは面白いと思うけど、it was the first time I really wanted to have this illustration look more than realistic look. So all my research was it was a mix of traditional painting. 本当の絵の具を使いましたですね。Real painting that I mixed in Photoshop with the toon shader in Maya, and we did that rendering. We were 3 people working on this, and we developed that style based on different comics, French comics that I really like. Manga? フランスの漫画はすごいインスピレーションのその時にI got a lot of inspiration from this manga, and there's a lot of talented manga artists in France, and you can see it's a completely different style from Japanese manga. So my film got seen in SIGGRAPH, Los Angeles, by a Japanese person that I respect very much, who is called Masuo-san. And Masuo-san used to be the president, CEO of Ludens Tokyo. And Ludens was, so when I arrived in Japan in 2005, I got this meeting with Masuo-san and his team. And when I screened my film at the meeting, Masuo-san recognized my film that he saw in SIGGRAPH. And he said, "Oh, you are the director of this film. I really like it." And he offered me a job. He said, "Would you like to work with us in Japan?" And I was in holidays. 夏の休みの時にミーティングがあって、and they said, "Do you want to work with us?" And I was like, "Oh, panic!" You know, I was a young, 25 years old boy, and I never planned to live in Japan initially. So it was really the destiny for me to arrive here. It was Guzen, or Unme. We can say Unme. So this is me with the team. We were really few back then. And one of the work, the first work I worked on was Kiraware Matsuko in 2006. That was directed by Nakashima Tetsuya-san, who is a really unique Japanese director. And that was really fun. That was very creative. A lot of fun working on this. And I was designing mainly heike design to character animation. I started like this on this film. Later on at Sundance, we worked on another film that is called Pakoto Maho no Ehon. And that was a big challenge for the team because that was the first time we would work on a computer graphics character animated sequence, full CG character animation sequence. And I think we had in total like 20 to 25 minutes in total. That was a lot of work. And here are some samples of what I did for the film, like previously, before to do any character animation. I was in charge of understanding how the character facial animation would move. And the character of Gamaoji was very special. As you can see, it's Amagaeru. It's a round face, and I had to build the character rigging for the face. So I had to understand the muscle very clearly that was the start before to start anything technical with Maya and make the rig. And beside that, I also did some character design for some backgrounds. So that's how I work. I always start from the 2D side, thinking, creative process, before to create anything in CG or computer graphics. So I save time and I make sure the result is high quality. That's how computer graphics artists have always worked so far. And that's why the VFX artists are so talented and important for any sort of production. This is another example of my boards when I was working. So you can see different facial expression. I actually never showed these before publicly. That's the first time. And you can see different expressions. So you have the disgust on the very left, the smile, the fear, and this face is really strange. So it's really difficult to imagine how. So I was using a mirror and I was trying to do the face myself to understand how my eyes are moving, my muscles, and trying to reproduce that on the frog, basically. Here on the right is a little test of animation to get some flow for one sequence, one shot. So all of that is research and development. And in my work, whether it's computer graphics or AI, it's always the most important part of my work is how do I prepare the creative side to make the best results. And I think it's more important than ever with AI. This film had a lot of success, and especially for the animation, and that was a lot of fun to work with everyone on this. This is a personal work. It's an original work, that I did for Sundance. So at some point, Masao-san said, "I want you to direct, to create a short series." So I started to work on a series, developing a character, trying to develop it was a series for children. So I tried to think a lot about how to make the most lovable, cute character. What personality would I give to the character so people can get attached to him? And I always used the book of Alfred Hitchcock, who say the most important is your character, and how do you develop the personality? You give him weaknesses, you give him human traits that we can identify. So it's very important to always have a character that has some weakness, so we can identify as an audience to the character. And my character, René, he was based on that weakness. He had a lot of weaknesses, and it was really, really interesting to develop this character who doesn't know how to fly. So René is an owl, fukuro. René wa fukuro desu ne. But he cannot fly. He doesn't know how to fly. So it's kind of cute, and he has to learn how to fly, but he's afraid of heights. He doesn't know how to fly. So I was developing the character and the episodes and the story based on his weaknesses, and it was a very interesting project. As you can see, I was still developing some sort of visual design that looks more like 2D painting with a lot of textures. So it looks like a painting, but it's computer graphics and it's all 3D. So for example, I don't know if I can show. Can I show directly on the screen? Yes. Yeah? For example, this part, this shot is one of my favorite shots. It's inspired by the painter called Egon Schiele, the German expressionist painter. And I love the paintings of Egon Schiele, and you can see it's very flat, but actually this is 3D, so you have one hill in the background, you have like one middle hill here, and you have a foreground here. So I was faking the lighting. I was using 3D like a 2D painting, but if you go on the side, you actually see there is a little bit of depth. And I was playing with that. And this lighting also is painted. It's not a real lighting. It's directly painted on the texture, because there was no way I could get exactly the right lighting as I want, like a painting. So yeah, I was always fascinated to use animation and 3D animation as a 2D effect. You can see also these trees, the shape of these trees are very, very, it's all modeling, it's 3D modeling, so it's all modeled very carefully to have the same curve and the same style as Egon Schiele would do. And you have some sort of poetry in the shape, you know, it's very angular and then it's very curvy. Every shot was done like that. This is another board of René Fukuro. That's how I develop my characters. I think it's important to say that even if I use AI, I would do exactly the same. I would take the time to develop my character, understand what type of personality he has, because eventually the energy of the character will be felt if I feel it before. I have to feel and understand my character before to start anything. So you can see here is how does he evolve into his environment, what kind of atmosphere he has, like what kind of eyes. You can see here, like when he's dreaming, those are legs of a giant. So it's more like crazy fantasy kind of background. That gives me also another sort of ideas. And those are like, when he walks, what kind of atmosphere does he has? Is he like very confident, or is he like a little bit afraid? And maybe he's talking, so I wanted also to see how he's talking, and yeah. This character was very inspired by the work of Yuri Norstein, the very famous Russian film director that made The Tale of Tales. I think it's one of the favorite film director of Hayao Miyazaki-san, if I remember well. And I met Yuri Norstein twice, one in Tokyo, once in Russia. Yuri Norstein. So, Norstein. Yuri Norstein. He's really, really talented animation film director. This is another example of my past work, the one I did with NHK in 2011. It's called Ten no Kawa. Amanogawa janakute, Ten no Kawa. And initially my friend producer, Ino-san, she said, I really like your style. Do you want to do an animation for Minna no Uta? And I said, yes, but you know that if I do a film, I will do something really complicated. Like it's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of shots, and Minna no Uta, all the films I saw previously was very simple, and she said, yeah, it's fine, even if it's more complex, and it's fine. And I said yes, and it was really tough, but so much fun. So this is the CD cover of the band, Michiluka. So those are 2D drawing. Yeah, the one on the left might be a mix with 3D and 2D. This one is only a drawing, like hand drawing. And this is some samples of the film itself. So you can see exactly like Riba or like René. I started with modeling the character, so I could have all angles and animated it. This is one of the background that my friend Damien modeled. So we were 2 people working on this film, and Damien made an amazing job doing a lot of things too and directing with me, and that was a super cool experience. Here you can see what type of texture I use. So this is a texture made by hand in Photoshop with real painting. I take a picture or I scan it, and then I map it on the character. That's how I used to work with Maya. And then I pose my character with a 3D rig. So all of this is just to give you a little bit of perspective on how we used to work with computer graphics. And you can see with what Aki-san showed us before that with AI it's very different now how we start working. This is so you have the 3D here, the 3D background, and this is an example of a camera mapping that was done for this background. So Damien painted this in Photoshop. So it's a mix of watercolor plus scan plus Photoshop brush on the top, and we project that texture on the 3D to have the final result, and then we can move the 3D camera inside to have some shots. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the final result because it's copyrighted by NHK, and I cannot show it publicly. But here are some screenshots. So that gives you an idea of, this is a camera mapping. Maybe the camera mapping is projecting the texture like this, but we can still move the camera around. And for every object, you have a different camera mapping. For this part, for this part, for this part. So it's a mix of 2D animation style and 3D. That's how we used to work. And we got an award in New York Film Festival, Bronze Award of the Best Music Video. So everyone was happy, of course. Now let's come to AI. So as you can see, I come from the 3D animation with a heavy background in computer graphics. And my focus recently is on high-end content with quality. Just like I used to work with 3D, I work the same way with AI. And as I said earlier, in the age of AI-driven mass content, the most important for me is that the quality becomes the most pushed forward. And I think more than that, it's gonna become the real deal. Like, there's gonna be so many contents in AI that the content that will stand out is automatically the one that are taken to the next level. The filmmaking knowledge doesn't disappear with AI. It stays exactly the same. And it's very important for us to know the techniques of filmmaking, to learn them, and to use it with AI as well. So AI will allow us to create faster, more efficiently, high content, but we have to focus on quality, and not everything can be done with AI currently. We still have to put a lot of work to make quality films. This is an example of us working on one of my latest projects, Ampu, that I will show you just after. And you see that it's an AI project, AI mixed media project, and there is a lot of human creativity involved to have a good work. So here's my AI work selection for today. This one was the first AI hybrid film that I did with Satsue, with shooting. So this is a real shooting of me running, actually. That is me right here. This one is a young boy that played basketball for us. We have a dance teacher, who also worked with us. And what I wanted to do is, when I discovered stable diffusion, now it's already very old. Automatic 1111 and stable diffusion is very old, but it was 2.5 years ago, and I really wanted to see if I can create 2D style animated film with a live action shoot. Here is another sample of my work. So maybe you know Snoop Dogg. It was a music video called Love You More that got like more than 500,000 views, maybe more in total on X and YouTube. And this was directed by the Door Brothers. So this is an agency based in Germany, and I worked with them. It was already like 1 year ago or something like that. Each of us had a 20-second sequence. We were 6 people working on this, and I'm going to show you the 20-second sequence right now. So this one is full AI. There is no shooting, no computer graphics. It's completely 100% AI. And that was my first work with AI apps.
I popped out the 2022, windows tinted. I'm back up in it. More spinach, I'm so vintage. Baby say she want a minute, that's gon' finish what he started. Cold-hearted, I hit Siri, the docu-series is full party. All these cell phones and group homes, and all that arguing and fighting, baby, I'm too grown.
So, yeah, that's an example of what we can do with AI, and that's already more than 1 year old. Then I worked on my personal project called Ampu, and that was a short film that I directed for Project Odyssey. I did that film with my friend Andre, who is French and who was in Tokyo until recently. And sorry? Oh yes, Andre is from Mago Studio, yeah. He's the project owner of Mago Studio. And I met him by chance in Tokyo, and when I saw what we can do with Mago Studio, I thought, this is really cool. Maybe we should try to do something together. And it was supposed to be a very simple project, but it became very heavy, very complex, even though it was just a 1-minute short film. And I'm currently releasing a series of making of, deep dive behind the scenes to show all the work that was involved in that film, because it was a really good human adventure with Andre, and I want to share that with everyone. So for now, let me show you first the film. It's 60 seconds. It's a mix of live action shooting with real world shooting, and we have some shots full AI. There is a AI stylization. There is an AI face and design character replacement. There is a lot of things involved to actually get the final result. And hopefully the little making of after can show you how it was done. We got the 3rd place at Project Odyssey with this film. thank you for watching. So this film was the third, we got the award, third place at Project Odyssey Season 2. And it was the category of VFX rendering. And now I'm going to show you a little making of 5 minutes to show you how it was done. There's more making of coming. There is one more coming of 9 minutes, and then there will be even more release later.
Hey, my name is Yves Dalbiez. I'm a French writer and film director based in Tokyo, and I've collaborated with global brands to create commercials and short films for the past 20 years. In addition to directing, I also have a technical background in Maya, where I've built character rigs for my own projects and clients, as well as supervised animation on various projects. When AI started gaining traction, I naturally explored how to integrate these tools into my creative process and experiment with new possibilities. Last year, I directed my first AI-assisted film, Mind, Body, No Limits. It was an experimental project that blends live action with stable diffusion. The goal was to create a dynamic 2D animation effects using real footage combined with AI diffusion techniques. The result turned out surprisingly well. The film was featured on Stash Media, along with a 10 minutes behind-the-scene breakdown. Early this year, I took on another challenge and I pushed things even further. In January, I set out to create a 60-second short film in just 25 days, alongside a group of friends. The project combined live action, AI-generated shots, AI-driven VFX for face and character replacements, and a new AI diffusion tool called Mago for the rendering. We worked 15 hours a day, every single day, with no breaks, for 25 days straight. We were quite exhausted by the end, but incredibly proud of the result. The short film, named Ampu, takes its name from an alternative version of Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god. I've always been drawn to this character, and the idea of having him perform a dance in modern-day Tokyo felt like a very exciting challenge for me. Why 25 days to complete this experimental piece? Because I wanted to submit it to Project Odyssey Season 2, a prestigious international competition for AI-driven filmmaking. And to our delight, Ampu was selected last week as one of the top 25 finalists and is currently competing for the final ranking. But what truly surprised me was an unexpected realization during the storyboard process. This character had such a strong presence that he almost took on a life on his own, and it kind of shaped new ideas in my subconscious. I started to see the potential for Ampu to evolve into a full-fledged series. The recent advancements in Viggle V3 allowed me to seamlessly replace the face of an actor, a task that would have required extensive CGI just a few years ago. So I had the idea to combine this with the stylization tool Mago Studio, which is the successor of WAP diffusion, and this enabled the creation of this unique visual style for the film. From art direction to final composite and color grading, I employed a mix of techniques and tools, and each shot was storyboarded and approached like a painting. We shot some scenes in real life at Shibuya Crossing in Tokyo, the very famous crossing, which is very crowded, where a friend, Duncan, and I were acting, while other shots were generated using Kling AI and Hailuo Minimax. The plate cleaning process and tracking were primarily handled with Runway ML, which is very, very useful for different things. And each shot was then stylized using Mago Studio, following a precise workflow that worked only for this special shot. I plan to release a series of behind-the-scenes breakdown to give people a deeper understanding of how to leverage AI tools effectively, and also show that using AI tools for filmmaking is far more and should be far more than just pushing a button. Why do I do that? In the end, what truly matters is how our audience connects with our content on an emotional level, not the tools we use to create it. You know, powerful stories with an invisible tech at the service of the human artistic sense, so that we can provide the best possible experience for the audience. That is how I envision the future of our work as filmmakers.
Thank you for watching. So that was Ampu, my latest film directed with AI on mixed media. And yeah, that was very unique way to work with AI. It was very new for me to mix all these tools. And I think this is how professional people from the computer graphics industry are going to use more AI every day. They are going to take different tools and mix it in their own way, because that's how we know, that's our process. Not using only one tool, but using several of them. And this is the process that we do with the Comfy UI, where you can mix different models and different tools to get what you want. So feel free to connect with me on Instagram. The Gold Curtain is my creative space where I post different things about different things, AI, animation, and I try to educate people around how we can use those tools for the best quality. And this is Yves is my personal profile. And now we have a little time for question and answers, if Aki-san thinks it's a good idea. And we have also a few questions that we want to talk about.
Thank you very much, Yves さん。So give your claps、拍手をお願いします。ファーストパート、ありがとうございます。ここから先はぜひちょっとリアルタイム翻訳でいきたいので、ちょっとつなぎ替えます。音声字幕を今準備してまして、ちょっと英語難しかったら方どれぐらいいらっしゃいますかね。もし分かりました。日本語で日本語中心でいきたいと思いますので、もし何か質問がありましたら今のうちにちょっとこの時点で聞きたい質問ありましたらぜひ忌憚なく日本語でどうぞ。聞きたいことどうぞ。なんか留学経験とかもありそうなどうぞ。はい。
楽しい講演ありがとうございます。スタイルがすごく好きです。でユリノシュタインとかアニメーション作家ヨーロッパとかのですね、僕も結構影響を受けて、自分でもウェブのアニメーション作ったりとか、趣味なんですけどやってて、で AI を使おうと思った一番のきっかけ、なんかね、出来事のなんでしょうね、本当の大きなトリガーみたいなものって何かありますか
？Midjourney は出てきたときに I got shocked. I was so shocked. I really felt I have to use these tools to stay up to date. If I don't use, I will lose my work. と思った。I really felt this is a new sort of computer graphics tool that I have to learn. And also I was very excited because I can create faster. I can make my visions really faster. Now I realize it's still a lot of work, of course, and I'm happy. But yeah, that was the trigger. That was the trigger to think, okay, I have to start. Yeah, before there was not stable diffusion. What was before stable diffusion? You remember? DALI, but before that, even before that.
GAN?
Yeah, and there was like something diffusion, another diffusion. I felt it was too complex, so I didn't have time to try. I tried a little bit, but Midjourney was really the start. Like, oh, it's interesting. It seems.
それまでは複雑だったのと、ミッドジャーニーが出たのが2022年の8月。7月から8月でした。で、その前に起きてたことっていうのは、オープン AI が DALL-E をリリースしたんだけど、DALL-E のウェイトリストって本当に限られた人にしか来てなくて、すごい金持ちの投資家にしか提供されてなかった。で、 ビットジャーニーとそれからダールイーが出た時にオープン AI がそれをオープンって言ってたけど全然オープンじゃないじゃんで、フランスとかでいうとまさにそのオープンな AI なのにオープンじゃない、これはリスクを感じていた人たちもたくさんいるし、ステーブルディフュージョンは実はそれのおかげで生まれてるんですよね。ステーブルディフュージョン出そうってオープンリリースしようって決まったのはまさにダールイーと、ミッドジャーニーがあまりに衝撃的で見てるだけでもうあとブレインヒーティングですね。本当に頭の中どんどん活化していくっていう感覚をクリエイターの人たちはその瞬間感じてました。さてじゃあ同時通訳がうまいことを言ってるのでこれで OK next question、do you have any question？ もし質問があれば今のうちに2本はいどうぞそのマイクどうぞもしあればいいですか。じゃあ会場の方また質問ありましたらぜひじゃあ斉藤さんとかあると思うんで聞きたいです。はい。next question how much does it cost AI の値段はいくらなんですか。 AI 映画の値段はいくら、これはどういうこと？
It's a very hard question to answer actually, because it depends of so many creative decisions.
なんか値段をいくらっていうのはすごく難しくて、で今そのイブ・ダルビエのその話でいうとトラディショナルな映画制作映像制作のワークフローをリスペクトしてやるっていうのはすごく大事なことである。でクオリティを維持するためにはそういう手法を取ることが重要であるっていうふうに考えている。
Yes. For example, the animation currently it's not possible to have a proper animated shot. It's always a little bit strange. There's always weird things happening in the shot, in the motion. So depending on what we will choose, okay, can we do this film for 70% of quality? It's not so important to have a perfect motion. Then maybe we can use this tool, and it's going to be cheaper. But if you want to do a film that potentially will go to festivals and you want to shock the people with the quality and the style and make them think, wow, how was this done? Was this done with AI or with something else? I think that's the goal here. We have to ask each other this question, like we have to really ask ourselves this before to start a project.
Wait. So, 今のショットっていうのは映画用語でそのテイクスタートしてそれが終わるまでのワンショットです。でそれを今いろんなツールを使って、クリング AI だったりミッドジャーニーだったり、それからミッドジャーニーだと最近ミッドジャーニーもビデオ作れるし、それから最近何を使ってる？コンフィも使うし。
コンフィは最近使わない。
Runway?
Yeah, I use pretty much everything except Confi actually at the moment. You have Kling AI, Hailuo Minimax, Runway, Luma Labs, FreePic that offers a lot of different tools, lots of set of different tools for retouching, editing the image. I use Photoshop, I use Krea, I use Leonardo AI, Mago Studio, yeah.
そうやってそのたくさんのツールを使ってやるんだけれども、その統合されたショットを作るのは難しいし、結構そのwe say gacha, it's a lot annoying. そうwe need lucky ですね。
Yeah.
そう運が必要。ガチャを回すって我々よく言ってますね。
Yeah, with AI, it's kind of playing a gamble when you try to do something with a shot. And that's what is the most frustrating for VFX artists, because when you work with a clients always want to change something. They always want to change this part of the image, or can you do it a little bit more? Can you remove this tree in the background, or can you make the character move differently? Can you change the character to another one last minute? And with AI, you cannot do that. So you have to think differently.
クライアントワークであることが多いので、実際にクオリティ上げていこうと思ったらこれ邪魔なものをどかしたいよねとか、これ表情どうにかしたいよねみたいな話がどんどん出てくるので、再現性ですね、リプロダクティブとかが、もしくはコントローラビリティというのが重要になりますよねっていう話は僕ら日本の映像制作の間でも同じように言われていることです。それで、How much it costs の話。
So for that reason, how much those cost AI is really hard question to answer. It really depends of of what tools you will use, what quality you are aiming, which artists you work with also, if they are beginner artists
どうい
or
うクオリティを目指しているのかがまず一つ。で、セカンドポイント。
what tools do you use,
どんなツールを使うのかっていうのが、その2つ目の要素になる。
what artists do you work with,
どんなアーティストが、それにこだわって仕事するのかっていうところになります。
beginner AI artist か VFX artist turning AI artist とか。It's really different.
あと、イテレーションプロセスですね。クライアントとか、誰がディシジョンするのか。
Yeah, also, yeah, so it's very important to talk with the client beforehand. You want to do something with AI, then probably we cannot do this or we cannot do that. The framing with the client is very, very important.
そうね、イブさんの仕事だと、例えば化粧品だとか、グローバルカンパニーのブランディングだとかの仕事なので、その辺の設計っていうのはしっかりあるけれども、クオリティに関しては本当に100% クオリティじゃないと通してくれない。
And so recently I've been doing some estimates. So it depends. There is a range, but to have something decent, I found out that if you want to do like a 60 to 90 minutes movie, that would be around $2 million. So you,
ちょっと待って。
yeah.
60分のから90分の映画だったら、2億円ですね。円だと2億円ぐらいはかかるだろう。1分だとper minute?
Per minute, I don't know per minute how much it would
今の
be.
60で割ったからだいたい2000万
Per minute, that would be
違うか200万
yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah.
という規模感のものになりますよっていう話です。これはもう実際に見積もったらそんなぐらいの金額になったっていう話ですね。
Which is still 10 times, 100 times less than real shoot and real team and everything. So.
もちろんそのイブさん今のその実際のチームでどういうチームでそれを作るっていうのをやってるし、日本のアニメーション制作会社の現状とかも知っていて、それを言ってるんですね。So you have experience in Japan, Japanese animation studio.
Yeah.
So do you have anything later or you talk before?
You mean like
Frustrating or characteristic of Japanese working?
that was kind of several years ago already, so I don't know, maybe things changed, but
昔の話なんで、今もそうかとは限らないと思いますけど、日本のアニメーション会社ってこうですよね。
I can tell the difference with Europe maybe, if you want.
ヨーロッパ、ちょうど僕がフランスにいた時にイブさん日本にいたんですけど、アメリカとかそれからフランスの漫画アーティストってすごいクオリティオブライフ高くて、でそのコストというかその安くなるような仕事は絶対しないし、寝るときは寝るし遊ぶときは遊ぶし、もう毎日漫画描いてます、床で寝てますみたいなのはなんでって言われてます。ちなみになんか漫画家カラビさんそう言ってますけど、ちなみにそれを知りたかったらジャンポール西の漫画を読むとよくて、ジャンポール西は、日本人の漫画家です。でこの人はフランスに行ってフランス人と結婚したんですけども、日本の漫画のクオリティとそれからフランスの漫画家のクオリティオブライフと全然違うって言って、日本で、フランス人とのハーフの子供を育てながら、日本人なんだけどフランス人の生活を取り入れた漫画を描いてます。So, do you think the quality, how we can talk about the quality matter in the life, quality of
Yeah.
life?
So we talked a little bit already at the beginning of the presentation, but the idea is that now with AI, you have, before with computer graphics, you would have just a little bit of content coming of quality. Now you have all ranges of quality with beginner creators, medium level, professional still haven't adopted the new tool. So I would say we still have only medium, low quality with AI. The best content are still yet to come. They will come maybe in a few years. But you have a lot of content, a mass delivery of content overflowing the internet. And it's very repetitive because everyone copy on each other. For example, you have all these Yeti you know, the Yeti vlogging with Google VO3, and everyone wants to do a Yeti drinking alcohol on VO3. You know, it's the new trend.
今の話っていうのはクオリティっていうものを考えたときに今までだったらトップ層のブランディング映像にしかクオリティが求められてなかったけれどもビギナー層エントリー層カジュアル層から SNS 消費からバズ動画から全部の域においてスーパークオリティが担保されてるし求められてるしそれが消費される可能性でもあるしっていうことでクオリティってものは何なのかっていうことを再度考えなきゃいけない時期が来ているねっていう話です。
Yeah, so I think that what was the question again? Can you show it to me? That's precisely. What is quality in the world? Why quality matters in the world of AI? So, if you want to stand out with AI now, you have to do something that is very different and very unique. For me, there are only a few creators, a few artists with using AI that does extremely good things. And that's why it matters, because there's so much content. When there is so much content being delivered on internet, how do you stand out? How does the content become interesting? Because we don't have time to watch everything. We have to be very selective now.
そうだね。Consuming time is also the issue.
Yes, yes. So yeah, and it's going to be more and more content. The audience is going to be a little bit tired because everyone knows that when there is too much something, then you get tired of it easily. You're like, AI. Another AI, 大丈夫。すでに見ました。So how do we make the audience think, hey, wow, I want to watch this? That's super important. And I think it can be achieved only with quality. And quality doesn't mean only visual quality. Quality means creativity, storytelling, character development, everything that makes a film interesting.
そう今の話で、こういう生成 AI で美しい動画が簡単に出るでそうするとみんながそれに見飽きるというのは当たり前のことでそうすると今後はクオリティが求められるじゃあクオリティとは何なのかっていうとビジュアルのクオリティだけじゃなくて総合的なクオリティが求められていくでそうなるとじゃあ何をやればいいかっていうと安く人を使って安く物を作らせるみたいなところが一番良くない、ね、消耗モデルになっちゃうってことですね。
Yeah, and that we arrive to the third question that is very linked to the story. Yeah. Oh, can you put the English?
Translation?
Yeah, translation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very linked to the second question because for how long are we going to create something with quality as humans when we know that the AI agents are coming and they are coming really, really strong? That's a question that I've been asking myself, and I'm really aware of the AI development that are extremely fast, and maybe creating something with quality matters today, but I don't know in a few years. That, to be really honest, I don't know in a few years, because maybe the AI agents will be able to make extremely good quality content. Then what will we have left? What kind of connection are we going to make with the audience as human? That's a question that is important to think of, and I don't have still the answer because I don't know how it's going to be.
人間のクリエイターが作ったと思うようなものをエージェントが作り出すような時代っていうのは数年以内に来るだろうっていうのが今の話です。So actually here is a Japanese famous professor talking about that. So the video generation will be in 5 years, in the 2 years ago, but it already can.
Video generation? Like
Yes,
what kind of video generation?
日本で非常に有名な松尾先生という方が2年前に動画生成は5年ぐらいかかるでしょうねって言ってたのが2年前なんですね。
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's faster than we think. Yeah.
そうなので考えているよりもその時代が来る時代は多分もっと早い可能性が高いと思ってます。
Yeah, there is a possibility. There are so many possibilities coming. It's hard to describe, but for me, the ideal let's think about the ideal development of AI for creators.
ああはいはいはい。そうね、クリエイターのための AI をどうやって作るかみたいな話が、まあこのあれですね、What is the future of
So
AI?
I think it really depends of which artist. But if it was me, what do I want in the future? I wish I could have some sort of interface. Or can you put the English? Some sort of interface that I could like hold near from my head or in my hand, and when I think or when I feel something, the AI creates the world for me and presents it to the audience. That would be amazing. Little bit like, because when you think about it, that's exactly what we do. We feel something as an artist. We try to understand what is our vision, and when we draw something or when we use the computer graphics, we translate our vision with whatever we can. So if the AI becomes an interface that can directly translate into the physical world, maybe a virtual world with a helmet or whatever, if it can understand, and I think the AI agent will become so smart very soon that they can really understand us, our personality, what we like, what reference we love, and they will say, okay, based on what Yves or Aki-san love and what you feel right now, this is what we can create together. Something like this, and it's going to be more and more precise. That would be the ideal development for artists from my point of view, but once again, it depends of people.
今の話でイブさんのその考えていることがそのままその世界に飛び込ませられるいいなと。例えばヘッドマウントディスプレイみたいなのかもしれないし、何か自分が考えたことをその世界に入れるようなそういう AI クリエイティビティツールみたいなのがあったらきっといいのにっていうのが、まあ、彼のその未来の夢だし理解してほしいなと思っていることですと。I have a different point of view.Yeah,
I'd love to hear it.
なんかちょっと僕違う視点持ってるんですけど、いいね聞きたいねって話なんですけど、浮世絵 Do you know 浮世絵
Yes.
例えば日本の浮世絵っていうのはその江戸時代まであって、それでヨーロッパの人たちが浮世絵を発見してこれすげえなって言ってみんな輸出して、でボストン美術館とかで今高いお値段で飾られてるんですけど、でも浮世絵って何だったかっていうと、僕らは錦絵って呼んでたり、それから歌舞伎役者のその広告だったりプロマイドだったりファンアートだったり推し活だったわけですね。でその浮世絵 is originally one artist, drawing artist, and here is a printing artisan, and the printing technology for the color layers technologies, and the distributing company. So this is not an individual work, but here is a quality management ecosystem and chain, and also the monetizing, and also he's chairing oshikatsu for the 歌舞伎 actors. こういう形でその日本のそのクリエイティビティってもしかするとそういう一人のアーティスト、もちろん北斎とか歌丸とかいるんですけど、その絵師さんだけじゃなくてそれを印刷する技術だったり印刷を回したり推し活するチェーンだったり歌舞伎みたいなパフォーミングアートみたいなのが横にいて、でそこで開発されてきた部分っていうのもたくさんあるんだと思うんですね。版画にしなきゃいけないから、版画 is the printing, so it also have a limitation. Very hard to have the very precise printing with wooden printing.
Yeah.
So such a limitation, and also the facial expressions, like the base of manga, is coming from ukiyo-e styles, and also composition, layout is come from the layer printing technologies. そうこういう形でなんか浮世絵とかはまあ一人で作れない。It's hard by alone. But the quality will be greater. So that also gets immersed into the world of the Hokusai, for example. It was the technology and media and also the chain. What do you think?
It's hard for me to say something about this because I don't know enough about this technology.
It's a digital graphics artist age.
Yeah, and. Yeah, I don't know the Japanese culture enough to express on this.
But this is same age as 30 years ago. I was in SIGGRAPH and also get inspired of the French culture and the virtual reality movement and the interest of the movement. Also for the real-time graphics, not like a film or rendered. So Maya is for the film for the very cost spent sequence.
Yeah.
But video games is a real-time graphics. It's cheaper and very faster, and the UX interactivity is important. So that has combined into the current age. That's interesting.
So you imagine ukiyo-e would be like this, more interactive in a virtual set instead of just a painting. That's what you meant.
Yes,そうですね。浮世絵はそういうインタラクティビティあるんですかみたいな話でまさにその通りで、例えばその一人のアーティストが筆で描いてましたっていう技術に比べるともっとたくさんの人に届くし、それからパフォーミングアートで浮世絵とか、そうですね、その歌舞伎の役者がいてこういう演目をやってるのでそのためのパブリケーションとしてこういうのを作ってって頼んでそれを巻いてるわけだから、そこのチェーンイテレーションスピードはものすごく速いんですね。それはすごくコンシューマブルだけれどもイテレーションは速い。
Yeah.
今で言うと SNS 縦動画みたいなのはまさにコンシューマブルだけど、インディビデュアルアーティストとかその新しいバズスタイルのアーティストとかがたくさん出てきてて、最初はなんだこいつって言ってるかもしれないけど、この人たちのイテレーションとかそれからレボリューション、スピードはものすごい速い。
Yeah, I think that with AI, that's the crazy thing is that there is no only one development. There will be like so many different type of developments for content, and even contents that we don't know today, right? New content, new type of content, a little bit like what you described. So it's really hard to imagine all the ramifications of how it could become. Those are just, from our little perspective, what can we imagine, but it's hard to predict, really.
New consumer is also coming.
Also new consumer, new thing that we, a few years ago, the virtual YouTubers, the VTubers started to come on the market, and nobody would have predicted that like 10 years ago.
Yes, I was working in VTuber industry. In the beginning, part of them like manga or anime lovers, so they say, "Oh no, it's less than our ethic or quality of the consumable lines." However, the interactivity or frame rate is greater, and engagement is greater than the conventional manga and anime. VTuber の時代もまさにそうで、5、6年前はこんなの見ないよとか、こんななんか雑な映像とか面白くないじゃんって言ってた人たちも当然アニメ漫画大好きな人たちはいました。今でもいるかもしれない。だけどなんか2時3時とかの見てたら、そういうのが大好きな人たちとか、声が好きだとか、そういうちょっと雑なところが好きとか、ライブじゃなきゃ見れないのが好きみたいな人たちがたくさんいるから、だから VTuber って成り立ってるわけだし、僕ら作ってる側はそれを分かってるんで、そういうのを設計に組み込んでいました。That's an interesting discussion. Do you have any question? なんか質問ここでありませんか？会場、どうぞ。サイト。コメントとかで。どうぞ。
すみません、ありがとうございます。AI っぽさっていうことについて少しご意見伺いたくて、今はクオリティの観点でまだ AI が作ったって分かっちゃうよねっていうことを、その AI っぽさ、 AI で作った動画だっていうことでぽさっていうふうに多分世の中では言われると思うんですけど、でも逆に昔例えばコンピュータグラフィックスなんかはすごくリアルなものを追求して、コンピュータグラフィックスだと分かんないようなものを目指していた時期も、当初はあったはずですけど、例えばトイ・ストーリーみたいにコンピュータグラフィックスなりの良さっていうのが見つかって、そういうジャンルがピクサーとかが作った映画ってことで発展してきたと思っていて、その中で AIどう考えてもこれは AI が作ったんだって分かるんだけども、それこそがいいんだっていう、そういういい意味での AI っぽさっていうのを何か使ってその作品を作っていくっていうことを例えば考えられているのか、いやいやもうやっぱり AI が作ったっていうことが分からないようなクオリティになっていく、あるいは自分がうまく AI をコントロールして AI っぽさを消していくことが正解なのかっていうことをちょっと考えたときに、その AI っぽさっていうのをどう捉えて、その AI らしい AI ならではの面白い映画っていうのが今後どういう方向性に行くのかとか、何が面白いと思うのかみたいなことをちょっと抽象的で難しいんですけど聞いてみたいなと思いました。
Do you know posa?
Posa.
Okay. Posa is the two meanings. So the Saito-san, thank you very much. Very good question. So, AI っぽさを日本語でから英語に訳すのは難しいんですけど、ぽさっていうのはまさにそのアイデンティティとそれからスタイルと、looks like AI. So now he say AI っぽさ is looks like a style of AI, looks like identity of AI, and it seems AI. But now it's intermediate. But in the future, maybe like a Toy Story, Pixar story, maybe the shaders, renderments has such as technologies. Will have the identity in the future. But however, how we can comprehend the AI POSA definition and also how we comprehend.
What do you mean by how we can comprehend?
質問としてはどう理解すればいいのかなのか、どうなっていくのかなのか。どういう質問になりますか。AI で作られていないように見せて。マイクぜひ。
すみません。AI で作られたとわからない方向に AI 映画が進んでいくべきなのか、AI で作られたということが分かった上で AI で作ったからこそ。今までの作り方、人間が撮ったコンピュータグラフィックスでやったじゃない何か面白さが見つかりそうなのかっていう、そこをどう今思われているかをちょっと聞きたい。
Here is the two direction, and it lists the style of AI POSA or hidden the technologies to be more natural.
So the question is it going to be always visible that it's AI, or are we going to forget that it's AI?
We remove the AI POSA or we will grow the AI POSA.
Okay. It's a difficult question. Almost like philosophical question.
Philosophical question, and also the producer or client also think about that.
What do I think about it? Regarding everything that I experienced with AI,
Okay, give me.
It's a good question, actually.
Good question. I also have a thinking. Let's have a few seconds.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. That's how we do, right?
Okay,
in Japan, we take time to think before to reply.
Let's think in your mind. I do have my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. そうですね。今ちょっと考える時間をくださいって言ったので、僕日本語で今の質問を答えていくと、実際現場では本当にその2つの質問がディスカッションされてます。で、例えば AI ロトスコーピングの仕事をしていると、ロトスコープしてスタイライズしてこういう絵にしますっていうのが一応クライアントが頼んだ絵ですと。ただロトスコーピングで美しく作れば作るほど実写に向いていきますと。でそうするとこういう画風にしますっていう意図から外れていきますと。でそれがじゃあ僕は結構分解して理解していて、シェーダーとして必要なのかエクスプレッションとして必要なのか、それから漫画エグザグレーティッドな漫画として必要なのかっていうのをシーンのファンクションがあるでしょうっていうのを考えてます。でそれが漫画的に驚いてますっていうシーンだったら、それは漫画だからエグザグレートにしなきゃいけないからフォトリアリスティックするんじゃなくてもう手で描くつもりでやりましょうって言うべきだし、これはもう普通にシチュエーションとして単純に流してほしいエンバイロメンタルなショットなんで、それはもう普通に行きましょう、できるだけコストかけるのやめましょうって言うべきです。でそこのポイントは何であるかっていうと、自然って何だっていう視点であり、自然なものに関しては人々は自然だなって言って引っかかりどころがないクオリティっていうところが大事になる。余計なものが映ってない気になっちゃわないっていうのが大事です。でそうじゃないものに関して自然のイフを感じる、世の中にはこんな恐ろしいこと考えるやつがいるんだなみたいな考えなきゃいけない、そういう自然に対するイフはエグザグレーテッドな、例えば顔の右と左の表情が全然違うような怒りだとか笑いだとか苦しみだとかを表現するショットは本当に時間かけてキーショットとして作り出しますね。それは実際にその俳優の人たちが演じてやる場合もあるし、 VTuber の時で言うと漫画っぽい顔してギャーとか言ってるシーン特有のエフェクトとかを作ったりしますね。人間の顔だけでそれを表現するのは難しいので、リアルとか、現実に存在するだけと有限になってしまうので、なのでそうではないイマジネーションで描いた方がいいっていうのが僕のオピニオンですね。
I have an opinion now about this. You mentioned Pixar earlier. Pixar is a really good example because what makes the quality of Pixar film? It's the story and the character animation. And we all love animated film because we imagine the work that is behind every shot. And we can appreciate the human work behind every shot. Oh, the way it moves is so fantastic. The way they animated the face is so amazing. And we resonate with that as a human. So I can imagine that AI, when it will give, and that, with Pixar, that didn't happen until they had enough control to make great animation, right? So I can imagine that maybe in a few years, maybe next year, I don't know, when animators like me can have full control on AI, I can imagine that something cool will come with it, because the audience will be able to imagine the human work that is behind. If it's only computer generated, I have serious doubt personally that the audience will like it. People tell me all the time, yeah, but if they don't know, yeah, maybe possible. I don't know about that. Me, as an audience, I really resonate with the human work. When it's only computer generated, I'm like, meh, it's just computer. I don't feel any sort of passion or anything behind. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think AI will develop to give more and more control to professional artists, and that's when we will start thinking, wow, that feeling again like Pixar animated film.
ピクサーの例で出たので、ピクサーの話でいうと、そこのストーリーだとキャラクターだとかのところにその人々を感動するところっていうのは何であるかっていうのに時間とか情熱をかけているからだよねっていう話なので、そこは多分今も変わってないんだと思います。そうですね。So that's why I do IQT project, not only myself, because for example here is AI tuber. I had tried AI tuber, but this is a very alone, because one person design one character, and here is one girl standing, and welcome to like Annie. So there one direction, one concept, and just to have the reaction from that. So this is not open and not educational thing, and not an unexpected event coming, because one concept designer has a static story, like a DVD, so one sequence have end. So once we arrive to the end, no reason to watch it again. So this is a sort of a classic DVD video, not so fun. So then the designing of the AI agent, it should be something like that. So educational and also growth with watches, comprehend, analyze the comprehend resolution, understanding speed, and going to the slower or controlling the LTV, long-term values. And then we can have the correct spice, correct recipe to that. So that is how we can keep the quality, don't to be spicy too much, and also to feel the very sensitive tasting. And also we needed to have the opportunity to study feedback, how it difficulties such as Miyazaki animation, how it realize that, how many people working, how we can control the quality. That's one of the reflective history, we think. なんか日本語で言うと、例えばジブリの話でもそうですけども、 AI VTuber とか作ってみても分かるんですけど、なんか一人のおっさんが作った可愛い女の子がいたとしても、例えばアニちゃんとかそうなんですけど、なんかそれが飽きるわけですよね。全ての行動を理解してゴールにたどり着いたらもう二度とはやらない。でもう皆さんそうやって AI ツール飽きられてると思うんですけど、ちょっと前で言うと DVD つまんない DVD 1回再生して2回も見ないよねっていうのと同じで、2回3回って見られるものって結構いろんな人にいろんな視点を与えてるんですよね。例えばガンダムとかもそうで、40年経ってから今もう一回見直したらガンダムすげえなってなるようなものが作られてるからたくさん見られてる。だけど AI のエージェントの時代でもそういうことを考えたら、やっぱりお客さんとコミュニケーションして理解して、その人にすごいスパイスを与え続けることだけが問題じゃなくて、もうちょっとちゃんと味わいながらとか学びながらとか、いや宮崎駿ってすげえよな、こんなの作るのすげえよなってアニメディアとかで 雑誌とかで説明してたのはまさにそれで、この人たちこういうの作ってるんだよ、わざわざヨーロッパ取材してこんなの作ってるんだよ、こういう人たちが作ってるんだよ、背景美術すごいねみたいなことを説明しながらユーザーさんたちが育っていかないと、すごいスパイスだけあってあと消費っていうのが良くない流れだと見てます。Your side. And
I think
yeah.
I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say, like around this topic. Yeah, I don't have further idea of what it could become at the moment.
この話は非常に面白いんで、また時間かけて話していきたいです。Maybe 斉藤さん will have a more discussion. Let's have a
Yeah, sure.
ぜひ。
With pleasure.
はい、喜びです。そういうディスカッションできるのは。はい。というわけで大体時間になってまいりましたが、So what did you read?
Yeah, so that's a book I'm reading at the moment. I've been reading, and I think it's really
最
good
近読んでる
book.
本。
It's a book written by Mogadot, who was like executive at Google a few I don't know when actually, but before he quit.
ガウダットさん。
Mogadot, yeah, and it's a really good book. Just simply really good. First, Mogadot is really well positioned to talk about AI because he's a specialist, and also he knows a lot more than regular people, who don't know about AI. And he explains what are the pros and cons, what can we avoid, the pitfalls to avoid, the negative, the dystopian futures that could come with AI, the good things that could come with AI. And he also helps us understand how we can make things better. That's why I really like this book and I recommend to read it.
Google の人がね、こういうディストピアとか何が残すべきことをやらない方がいいことみたいなことを、その面白い読み物にしてくれていて、結構日本語にまだ翻訳されてないそうなので、なんか原書で読んでみるのも楽しいかなと思います。なんかイブがこうやってなんか本をね紹介するっていうのも非常に面白い方だと思うんですね。IQ はなんで本出してるのかって話今日いっぱいやりましたけど、やっぱり手に取ってね見る、そういうフィジカルなメディアって結構いいですね。これだけ読んだかみたいなね。そう、How many pages we done っていうのね。
Yeah. Well, you can read it on the e-reader as well.
そうね、だってコンテとかスケッチとかね、こんなになるからね。だからやっぱりページをめくって作っていくっていうのはすごい大事なことかなと思います。はい、というわけで、じゃあありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. イブさん、ありがとうございます。Thank you. じゃあ、配信の方はこれで終了しまして、参加していただいた方々でもしご希望の方いらっしゃいましたら、イブさんとそれから武井さんと私、他でですね、思い思いの写真を撮って終わりたいと思います。ありがとうございました。本日終了します。23日24日も AICU フェスオンライン物理でお楽しみください。本日はご視聴いただきありがとうございます。またオンラインでお会いしましょう。わあ、終わりました。